Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Clayton, and I just got back from seeing Beauty and the Beast. And much like the more recent Disney live-action remakes, it's a visually thrilling and very well told version of the tale as old as time. But why don't we get to the story, shall we? It's going to seem very familiar to you Disney fans. Once upon a time, there was a spoiled and rotten prince who refused to let an old woman into his castle due to her hideous appearance. But when she turned into an enchantress and turned him into a beast and turned all of his servants into various appliances, she also tells him that if he can learn to love before the last petal on the rose falls down, he can be turned back into human. That's when we enter Belle, an intelligent and beautiful young woman who is ostracized by her French village for being so different, and who is frequently courted by a narcissistic, tough guy named Gaston. However, when Belle has to rescue her father after she is captured by the Beast, she decides to take his place in being captured, and if you've heard of the original Beauty and the Beast story, you pretty much know where it goes from here. The story is honestly very familiar to those who remember the original 1991 Beauty and the Beast movie, and it follows the original story pretty well. It adds a few things here and there, and a few scenes are changed around, but for the most part the story is basically the same as you remember it. And here's what I can say about the majority of the movie. It is very, very good, but it might have a few moments where the things that aren't from the original movie might rub you the wrong way, but they didn't do it for me. So, let's start with what I really liked about the film. Honestly, the cast did a phenomenal job, with Emma Watson obviously taking a really big amount of praise from me for her portrayal as Belle. As much as I love the animated Belle, Emma Watson delivers a knockout performance that really shows that she's got range and she's got a lot of talent. The same can be said for Dan Stevens as the Beast, as he can go from intimidating to charming in the span of just a few seconds. And again, much like the original animated Beast. Lumiere and Cogsworth, here played by Ewan McGregor and Ian McKellen, are both just as funny as they were in the animated version, and it's amazing how well the CGI is integrated with the live-action elements. Everything from the environments to Lumiere to Chip to Mrs. Potts to Cogsworth, everything looks great in this film. The visuals are definitely worth the price of admission alone. And the other performances, like the ones from Emma Thompson as Miss Potts, and Luke Evans as Gaston, and Josh Gad as LeFou, everyone gives a good performance, and I can't really say one was bad or one was poorly chosen. Everyone really fit their roles. Not only that, but since this is based on a Disney musical, they of course brought the songs back, and the songs are just as catchy, memorable, and beautiful to listen to as you remember. Everything from Beauty and the Beast to Gaston to Be Our Guest, every song really hits the mark. Though my two favorite renditions of this film are Gaston, which Josh Gad really lets loose his musical talents for this one. In my opinion, it's even better than the original animated version of the Gaston song. And Be Our Guest, which really lets Ewan McGregor sing his heart out, and even with a French accent, he's really, really talented. No wonder I found him to be the one good actor in the Star Wars prequels. Anyways, other than the visuals and the acting and the music, the story itself does have a few changes from the original story that I won't spoil for you because the changes they make are best experienced on your own. All I can say is that it gives us a little more information on Belle and the Beast when it comes to their pasts and when it comes to certain events that happen in their lives. This might be seen as either a good thing or a bad thing, because on one hand, it's nice to get to know more about these people so we care about them more, because when the film reaches the climax, you do really learn to care about both Belle and the Beast. Half of that comes from their performances, and half of that comes from this added material. But on the other hand, the added material shows off the one flaw that this movie has. It's one flaw, but it is a major one. The fact that the film is a bit too long. The original animated film felt like it was the perfect length. where it didn't feel boring at any point, and where it didn't feel like it was keeping you in longer than you wanted to be there. This film is 2 hours and 9 minutes long. And even though it doesn't feel like it's 2 hours and 9 minutes long, because half the time you're too busy having fun with the musical numbers, the great acting, and the action scenes, which, by the way, are pretty well done, and have that Disney flair. But I did notice a few children in the audience were getting a bit antsy before the credits decided to roll. So know that going in. But aside from the runtime, I can't really find anything that's wrong with this movie. The visuals are striking, the performances are great, the music's catchy and beautiful, and the story, while familiar, has enough new elements to stand out on its own. So, I definitely recommend that you watch this, mainly because Bill Condon, the director, did an amazing job with this story, and he really not only modernized it, but adapted it for a modern audience without losing any of the charm from the original tale. So, with that being said, I give Beauty and the Beast a 9 out of 10. It's a tale as old as time, a song as old as rhyme, and I love it. See you next time.